So I recently did a live Q&A session inside the Strongest KDP community, and I got some questions regarding softwares and Helium 10, and how do I know about the search volumes of softwares, and which softwares do I use, and how much do I pay, and how do I pick the correct keywords, and how do I index for the correct keywords using the softwares. And here's the thing, I've recently launched a book that's been consistently making me $1,000 a month in net profit. Now, net profit means it's my money. That's it. That's my profit in my pocket. I can go spend it on whatever I want. Now, that book makes me $1,000 a month in net profit without using any softwares. I used 0 softwares, no software, no keyword research softwares, no nothing. And that book makes me $1,000 a month without any softwares. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I did it with no softwares, because you don't actually need the softwares. The softwares can be helpful, but most of the times it's just a bunch of KDP gurus trying to use their affiliate links to get you to get the software so they can make some money off you without actually providing any value. I don't want to do that. I'm not here to make money off you from free YouTube videos and affiliate links. That's why I don't run ads to my YouTube videos. I'm here to show you how you can make money on KDP, and you don't need the softwares to get started. The softwares can be helpful when you're trying to scale. It can be helpful later on, but when you're just starting out, or you want to make your first $1,000 a month, you don't need the softwares. I made $1,000 a month, super easy. The only reason I made the book is to show you guys that it's possible. I did it without any softwares, everything by myself, and now the book is making $1,000. I think last month it made $1,500 in net profit. So yeah, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it without any softwares. You don't need the softwares. I'm about to save you $100 a month if you can watch this entire video. But anyway, let's get into the video. One of the most important things you're going to understand about KDP is that there's no point in publishing a book inside a niche where there's no demand. So obviously you're trying to find a niche with demand. And this doesn't just apply for KDP. This also applies for basically 99.9% of businesses out there. Obviously, there's some businesses where you create the demand, but we're not talking about that. We're going to be talking about KDP in this video. Now, let's say we weren't publishing books. Let's just say that we were about to open a Chinese restaurant. Okay, and over here we have London, and then over here we have another place in the UK called Nottingham, because I used to live in Nottingham a very long time ago. So let's just say we have Nottingham or London, and we want to open a Chinese restaurant. Okay, what's the first thing we want to see? Obviously, we want to see which one has the most amount of demand, because that's the whole point of running a business. Why would we open a Chinese restaurant inside a city if there's no demand? So if I go to London and I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Chinese restaurants, and no one is going to the Chinese restaurants, not a single person. There's very few people that go to the Chinese restaurant. In fact, maybe only Chinese people go to the Chinese restaurant because it's their home food, or it gives them a feeling of nostalgia from China. I don't know. But let's just say that no one goes to the Chinese restaurants in London. Great. They might all be really bad. That's the reason. But we're going to assume that there's no demand, so no one actually goes there. Now, if I go to Nottingham and I see that there's 4 different Chinese restaurants in Nottingham, and all of them are constantly selling out every night. There's people waiting in line outside each restaurant every night because the food is so good and there's so much demand. Everyone loves to go to Chinese restaurants over here. Guess what? If I'm about to create a Chinese restaurant, would I go to London where the 5 other restaurants are not getting any traction, no sales, not a lot of people are going to eat there? Or am I going to Nottingham where there's so many people that want to eat Chinese, but these Chinese restaurants, yeah, they might be good, but there's still people there that want to eat and they can't even get access to the restaurants because they're packed every night. You have to book in advance 2 or 3 days ago. Obviously, I'm going to pick Nottingham. Why? Because I know if I go here, even if I have a mediocre Chinese restaurant, at least there's enough demand for them to come and eat at my restaurant. Now, if I make a restaurant where the food is better and the environment is better and the staff is better than what's already out there, then obviously I'm going to start stealing some customers and bringing them to my restaurant. If I create this same amazing restaurant in London, then there's not really any customers to steal anyway, because no one is interested in Chinese restaurants in London in this example, obviously. Now, this also applies to your KDP books. So the first thing that you want to see is that there's actually demand. And you might be using softwares like Helium 10 to see if there's demand for certain keywords or if there's demands for niches. Now, in this video, I'm just going to be talking about keywords. I'm not going to be talking about finding profitable niches and all of that. Also, I hope you like this. Look at what I bought. I bought a little owl, a little blue owl. This is like an eraser. Not the best eraser, but it's adorable. So I'm not going to use it for this video. Let's call him Ollie. Ollie the owl. So the main reason you're using Helium 10 or Publisher Rocket or all of these softwares that are going to help you find keywords that you can target is obviously you're trying to find keywords with demand. Because if you find a keyword, this is keyword 1, and it has 0 search volume, which means no one's searching it, then obviously you're not going to target this keyword. Because if I show my book in front of no one's going to buy. Makes sense. If you find a keyword and there's 100 searches per month, great. You get to show your book in front of 100 people. Well, not exactly, because 100 people are going to search for it. Doesn't mean they're going to see your book. Doesn't even mean they're going to click on your book. And if they click on your book, it still doesn't even mean that they're going to buy your book. But this is just purely based on impressions and demand and how many people you're going to show up in front of. How many people are searching this keyword right here. This line represents a keyword. Now, that same software might show another keyword for 10,000 monthly searches. And then if you're using the software, you might say, wow, this keyword is getting a lot of traction. I should put this keyword in my book listing or just somewhere so I can start showing up for this keyword. I'm going to show up in front of 10,000 people. I'm going to get a bunch of sales and be a millionaire and go buy a Lambo. If that's what you think it looks like, then that's great. I mean, I don't really know what to say. But you're relying on the software to tell you if there is demand for a certain keyword. But how does the software know if there's demand for a certain keyword? Well, if you're using Helium 10, and I'm not dissing Helium 10, by the way. Helium 10 is very, very good, especially if you know how to use it. Helium 10 is very good. I dropped my marker. Helium 10 is very, very good. It's just I don't use it because I don't see the point in it. I can still make profitable books without Helium 10, but obviously Helium 10 helps. But you don't need it if you're a beginner. If you're broke and you're still not making money on KDP, you don't need Helium 10. You don't need all these softwares that all these gurus are trying to promote to make money off you using affiliate links. You don't need it. But anyway, where does Helium 10, I'm just using Helium 10 as an example, and Publisher Rocket. Again, not dissing. The softwares, they have their purpose, they're great. It's just if you're starting out, you don't need them to succeed. You don't need them to make money. You're not going to not make money because you didn't use Publisher or Helium 10. But anyway, how do these softwares right here, how do they figure out the monthly search volume for a specific keyword? Well, guess where they go? They go on Amazon and they look at the Amazon data. So guess what? If these softwares go to Amazon to look at the Amazon data, if you don't need these softwares, guess what you do need? You need Amazon. So if you want to figure out the demand of a keyword, what are you supposed to do if you don't need these softwares? Obviously, you're going to go directly to Amazon, and that's exactly what you need to do to actually find keywords with high demand without having to pay hundreds of dollars a month for software that's going to bring those keywords for you. Now, the software, it makes the process easier. It makes the process faster. However, if you're broke and you haven't made your first $1,000 a month on KDP, the software is not your problem. The software isn't what's going to save you. It's everything else that you need to worry about, to be honest. But you can't actually realize that until your skills get better. But that's a whole nother video. So how do you find demand of a keyword without using software? Super simple. This is the easiest thing. This is what I use to make my book scale to $1,000 a month in net profit. That means I make $1,000 from a book and it goes straight into my pocket. That's taking out the ads, taking out all the publishing things, taking out everything. Net profit, $1,000 a month. I wake up, I make a coffee, I go to the gym, I do whatever I want, and then I end up having $1,000 at the end of the month from one book. I don't have to actively look over it and I do a little bit of optimization, but not the end of the world. Maybe like 3 hours a month, 4 hours a month. So 4 hours of work a month brings me $1,000 in net profit. Why? Because I use the autocomplete. Now, guess what the autocomplete does? If I give the autocomplete the word Chinese cookbook, guess what it's going to do? The autocomplete, there's this search bar right here on Amazon. You search like this. Also, every time you search in incognito mode. Any research you do, keyword research, niche research, always incognito mode. Why? Because incognito doesn't track your cookies, so it's not going to affect your search results. Everything's going to be a blank slate. But anyway, I type in Chinese cookbook on Amazon. Also, another question a lot of you are asking, do I search in all departments or do I search in books? Well, when someone's buying something on Amazon, they very rarely actually sort it by books. When I do my research, I just go all departments, personally. I find that it's just better overall. But anyway, you select all departments, you type in your main keyword, so just your niche or just your sub-niche or whatever your keyword is obviously appropriate for your niche. And then you're going to have a bunch of results here. Correct. If I draw these two lines right here, this means Chinese cookbook. It's just for me not to repeat and just keep writing Chinese cookbook. But one of the autocomplete can be Chinese cookbook for beginners. It can be easy Chinese cookbook. It can be Chinese cookbook what? It can be Chinese cookbook with pictures. It can be a bunch of things. Now, if I type in Chinese cookbook and then a bunch of keywords show up in the autocomplete. So there's so many keywords in the autocomplete. Guess what that means? What do you think these keywords are? These keywords right here that search up, that show up on the autocomplete, they are keywords that previous customers or previous shoppers have been constantly over and over and over and over and over again, they have been searching for it. So if they have been searching, if multiple people have been searching for the same keyword, the same search term multiple times over and over again, and Amazon is showing it up in the autocomplete, guess what that means? There's demand. So now I know that these keywords that show up in the autocomplete, there is demand. Now, do I know if this has 100 monthly searches and this one has 120 and this one has 500 monthly searches? I don't. But do I care about it? Not really. I care that there is demand, and this is straight from Amazon. No software needed. Straight from Amazon. Amazon is telling me that there's demand. Now, there's a niche out there that I constantly use as an example for having no demand. There might be some little sub-niches within that niche where there is demand. But usually, if I search anything related to Down syndrome or something like that, then there's usually not a lot of books with demand. So if I search Down syndrome and I want to make a cookbook about Down syndrome, and I type in Down syndrome, but then cookbook doesn't show up anywhere on the autocomplete. It says Down syndrome for beginners, or then it can say raising kids with Down syndrome, and then all the autocomplete features don't have cookbook. If I type in cook, then there's nothing in the autocomplete. An autocomplete doesn't even come up. What does that mean? That means there is no demand because the keywords aren't popping up on the autocomplete. If the search term or your sub-niche and niche are not popping up in your autocomplete, there's no demand. So would I publish in a niche or use that keyword? Obviously not. I won't use keywords with no demand. So when I publish my book that's making $1,000 a month, what I did is I searched my main keywords. So if it was how to draw animals, I would search how to draw animals, see what other ones come up. It might be easy how to draw animal book. It might be how to draw animals for kids ages 6. If it's appropriate, I'll add that keyword. And I'll just search different ways. It might be learn to draw. So some people search learn to draw. Some people, instead of searching how to draw for kids, they search how to draw for children. So I wrote all the variations I could think of, and then I started searching them in the autocomplete. And I only use the autocomplete. And only if the keyword came up on autocomplete, then I put it in my keyword list that I was going to use, that I was going to target. So great. Now I had a bunch of keywords, not a lot. If I used Helium 10, I would have had 10 times more keywords. But the keywords that I picked, I knew for a fact they had demand because I got it straight from the source, straight from Amazon. No software needed. So I just saved $99 a month. Or I think Publisher Rocket is $99 for one time. But again, I saved this money because I just used the autocomplete. Second step, this is the easiest step, SEO. So the thing is, I'm going to put autocomplete here so you know. SEO. So how does Amazon read your keywords? If I have keyword 1 and I want to show up for keyword 1, the way Amazon shows you for keyword 1 or search term 1, same thing. It's not exactly the same thing, but we'll treat it as the same thing right now. If my search term is gardening book and I want to show up for the keyword gardening book, why? Because I searched in the autocomplete, I searched in the Amazon search bar, and then the autocomplete put gardening book for beginners. Let's say we want for beginners. We'll make it more accurate. Don't even know how to spell beginners. Please don't judge me. But I want to show up for gardening book for beginners. What am I going to do to show up for this keyword? Well, the first thing I want to do is actually tell Amazon, hey, Amazon, I want to show up for this keyword. And how do I do that? I either put this keyword in my description or subtly put it in my description. So one of the sentences in my description can be, in this gardening book for beginners, you will discover how to be a gardening expert. That's a very bad example, very bad sentence. But you can see that I included this search term. I included it subtly inside the description. So now when Amazon reads my description, it's going to read this keyword. And when someone searches this keyword on Amazon, they're going to say, oh, this book right here has this keyword in the description. So the person searching for this keyword is probably looking for this book because this keyword is in the description of this book. I hope that makes sense. That's how SEO works. Now, it's not just your description. You have a bunch of other ones, but the main ones that you want to focus on is your description and your backend keywords. Now, if you have 10 keywords, backend keywords, you're allowed 7 keywords. But if you have 10 keywords that you found for free, completely for free, using the autocomplete, I know those 10 search terms or keywords have demand, then great. Put 7 of them in your backend keywords, and the 3 remaining ones, certainly add them in your description. That way you're going to be able to index for those 10 keywords, or 15 or 20 keywords, however many you're going to use. But great, that's the second point. That's the easiest one. Couldn't get more simple than that. The keywords you want to show up for, or the search terms you want to show up for, just put them in your description. Man, Ollie the Owl is definitely not doing a good job at taking away the whiteboard marker effectively. Let me try and use a different one. I'm going to use a black one. If you have OCD, I apologize. But number 3, this is the most important one. This is the one everyone's going to be thinking about. Amazon ads. Barry, I want to target keywords in Amazon ads. I'm going to use Helium 10 and Publisher Rocket and all of these softwares to help me with Amazon ads. Well, here's the thing. If you're broke and you're not making money on KDP and you want to make more money on KDP and you want to save as much money as possible and make as much money as possible because you're still early on, you're still trying to figure it out, you don't want to spend too much money trying to figure everything out, you don't want to lose a bunch of money, well, guess what? You have a list of keywords that have demand. You have a list of keywords that you found in the autocomplete. They pop up in the autocomplete, which basically tells you people are searching for this. Now, obviously, if people are buying the books in the niche, then that's a profitable niche, depending on the book you publish, because the niche can be profitable, but your book can be unprofitable if you mess up your book. If you find a profitable niche and you make a book that can be profitable, great, that's where you make money. Most people think you find the profitable niche, you make a really bad book and you make money. That's not how it works. There's 2 pieces to the puzzle. They both have to match together. Most people are finding the niches and then they're messing up the book part. And they're saying, oh, this strategy doesn't work. No, you're not working. You're not working correctly. You haven't amplified your skills enough to make a quality book. You probably don't even know what a quality book is. But anyway, I'm not here to diss everyone. I'm here to show you how to index for keywords correctly without having to spend hundreds of dollars on software every single month. I've done it for free. I'm making $1,000 a month with a book that I use 0 software for that book. I did everything myself, but I just did that to prove to you, you don't need software. You can do it all by yourself if you have the skill. And that's it. But anyway, Amazon ads, how are you gonna index for Amazon ads? Not rank, because ranking is a whole different game. But how are you gonna index for Amazon ads? Well, here's the thing. The new publishers that believe Helium 10 and Publisher Rocket is the ultimate software to use and you need that software to index and make a bunch of money, what they think is, I'm gonna give Amazon ads 100 keywords. And obviously out of those 100 keywords, at least 10 or 15 keywords minimum are going to be profitable. And I can take away the rest of the 90 to 85 keywords. I can just pause them and then I have 10 to 15 profitable keywords making me money from ads. My ACOS is 25%. My ads are profitable and I'm making a little bit of money. That's how most publishers think, self-publishers, especially new ones. However, this is what I would do, and this is what I did that helped me. This is how I was able to make $1,000 a month in net profit without using any software. This is exactly how I did it with Amazon ads. Are you ready? So basically, let's say I had 10 keywords up here. Here's what I did. I had a bunch of how to draw keywords. Now, it wasn't a how to draw book. I'm only using this as an example to show you my ad strategy. I shouldn't even be sharing this on YouTube, but I'm still going to share it with you guys because if you guys make money, then that's okay. My life gets better as well. That means I gave something good to the world. I did something good. I helped someone. So it's all good. So I had a bunch of how to draw keywords and I had a bunch of learn to draw keywords. Now, let's say I had 10 keywords. 5 of them was how to draw. So it was how to draw, and then it was how to draw for kids. Then it was how to draw animals, because let's say it's an animal book. And then there was 2 more keywords, how to draw easy book. Let's say that popped up in the autocomplete. And then final one was how to draw. I can't think of an example now, but let's just say step by step. Now this was the same over here. I had learned to draw for kids. I had learned to draw animals, learned to draw easy book, and then put Ollie up here. Learn to draw step by step. Now here's what I did. This right here are my targets for campaign number 1. This right here are my targets for campaign number 2. Here's what I did. I took all of these keywords, put them in one campaign, one ad group. Then I put them all as fixed bids, because if anyone is telling you to use down only during the launch of your book, run away from them as fast as possible. That's such an outdated technique. Anyone who tells you use down only at the launch, I don't know if they understand how Amazon works. But anyway, I'm not here to diss anyone. I'm just here to tell you from my experience. If you're doing down only straight away, you just launched a book, you're launching it down only because you think you're going to save money, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. You're basically limiting the success of your book. Now, if there's any gurus out there that tell you you just launched a book, launch it with down only, I would be very wary about what they say. But anyway, I'm not here to judge. I launched it in fixed bids, both of them, and then I launched them in broad match. Just that. One campaign where all of these are fixed bids and broad match. Second campaign, these keywords, fixed bids and broad match. These keywords, I found them in the autocomplete, and I also have these keywords in my SEO. So I know Amazon is going to show up for these keywords. It's going to show my book for these keywords because I index for them with my SEO And then I know there's demand for it because people are constantly searching for it. But here's the thing. Here's how it's actually going to work. Here's why this is so powerful. It's super, super simple. If you can do this, obviously, everything I talk about in this video is assuming that your book is really good. If your book is bad, no one can save you. No one can save you. No amount of money on Amazon ads is going to save your bad book, your poo book. If your book is poo, increase your skills, become better at making books, and then start figuring out Amazon ads. Obviously, they work together because as soon as you start spending money on Amazon ads, then that's going to help bring in the data that tells you, yeah, your book is really bad. Anyway, I got the keywords, I launched them, and I launched them in broad match. Now, what broad match is going to do is, let's say this is my 5 keywords from campaign number 1. So we have campaign number 1. That goes into ad group number 1. And then the ad group, these are the targets, the five keywords. Now, what that's going to do is Amazon is going to use these 5 keywords. Because there's demand, Amazon is going to spread out and give you even more search terms. So one of my keywords might be how to draw animals. And then Amazon is going to take that and try and spread out and find other relevant keywords or relevant search terms that have to do with how to draw animals. So this one might be how to draw animals for beginners, how to draw animals for kids. This one might be how to draw animals for kids ages 6. This is how to draw cute animals for kids. How to draw easy animals for kids ages 8. How to draw wildlife animals for kids ages 6 to 8. It's going to go find a bunch of keywords. Some of these keywords are going to work. Great. You leave them. Some of them are not going to work. Not keywords, by the way, search terms. Some of these search terms are going to work. Great. Some of these are not going to work. Great. You can just negate this, take this away, and then you're slowly allocating money towards the ones that work. So by doing this, you search for your autocomplete keywords, you search for your high demand keywords, and there's not a lot of them because you went directly to Amazon. You didn't use a bunch of software that's going to confuse you. You went directly to Amazon, found high demand keywords using the autocomplete. You took those keywords and put them, the search terms or whatever, you put them in your SEO, so description and backend keywords. Now Amazon knows, okay, this book is associated with those 5, 10, 15, 20 keywords that you found up here. Now you can start indexing for these. And since you can start indexing for these because you put them correctly, then when you launch Amazon ads and you launch ads for these keywords in broad match, then great. Now Amazon has high demand keywords with enough room to expand your reach. And you can slowly start to show up for more and more keywords, start to index more and more search terms, and then your book can grow and you start showing up more and more and more. But anyway, that's basically how I was able to make a grand amount in net profit without using any software.